What's up, everybody? It's your man TZ, and I'm back with another thought. I have a few words to speak. I'll give you guys a little rundown of how my mind operates and how I've always dealt with the things that I think about. A lot of the impromptu thoughts that go on in my mind. So, I like to think of myself as a very introspective person. I tend to look inwardly before I look outwardly. I process the world internally before I affect the world externally. And before I let external forces affect me, I usually process everything on the inside. So I'm an introspective person. Now, with that comes a lot of you playing two sides. You playing offense and you playing defense with yourself. So when you're an introspective person, you might have a thought, right? And then one side of you thinks of all the pros of the thought, and then the other side of you thinks of all the cons of the thoughts. The good things and the bad things, the highs and the lows of an individual thought, right? So a lot of times the Lord gives me words and the Lord gives me phrases and sayings and mottos that I could live my life by, right? And so what I do throughout life is I jot these down. I keep a section in my phone of notes, and I call it cloudy thoughts. And the reason why I call it cloudy thoughts is because I could be at work and I'm at work, but my mind is elsewhere. And so what I do is I could I have these thoughts when my mind is in the clouds. I'm at a place, but my mind is elsewhere. Hold on, buddy. I'm filming a video, okay? Go see mommy. Go see mommy and close the door, okay? Yeah, go see mommy. All right, so I have these thoughts that pop up into my mind when my mind's in the cloud. And so I'm thinking throughout my life, I jot these things down. And I got something that I kind of want to talk about. And this is from a couple years ago. I jotted this down. It's from November 26, 2019. I wrote, "You are remembered for the rules that you break." Now, I don't know what prompted me to think about that. I don't know what prompted me. I don't know what I was dealing with at that time. At that time, I was in the military. I was probably at work. Usually when I'm at work is when I do a lot of my dreaming. When I'm at work clocked in is when I do a lot of my visionary duties, right? And so I was probably at work doing some tasks that I probably rather not be doing. And I was probably dealing with some foolishness, whether it be from coworkers or whether it be from management, right? Anybody that's ever had a job and that's worked anywhere, they know what I'm talking about. The foolishness of coworkers and the foolishness of management. I was probably doing something like that, and I was probably thinking of doing something in such a way that may cause discomfort for other people, but maybe it was the better way in my mind, or maybe it was something that management wanted me to do, but I felt like it was dumb and unnecessary, so I didn't do it. And so that thought popped up into my mind: you are remembered for the rules you break. Now that's very powerful to me, and this is why. Because in life is like a conveyor belt, okay? In the sense of, if you could picture a factory, there's products on the assembly line, right? And so if you building this product, Each product gets the same screw in the same spot. Each product gets the same panel in the same spot. And it always ends up as the same end product, right? And they all end up at a similar destination. Um, Now, if for any reason this product at any point falls off the conveyor belt, or it jumps off the conveyor belt, it's gonna end up in a different destination. It's gonna be put into a defective bin, and it's not gonna end up in the hardware store where maybe it was supposed to end up, right? It's gonna end up somewhere else. It's gonna go in a recycling bin, and then maybe it's gonna go off to, I don't know, a landfill or somewhere like that, right? And life is like that. Life is like that with people. Like the public school system is kind of like a conveyor belt. Uh, Growing up in America, a lot of kids sent to the public school system, and there's this cookie cutter mold that they have for every student, even though every student is not the same. Okay? Like when I was growing up, we had Common Core math, we had Common Core, all the subjects, right? Well, not every kid is good at math. Not every kid math comes naturally to. Not every kid reading is easy for. So you got this cookie cutter structure, okay? And that's the rule of thumb that they have each student living by, okay? And then you go throughout your elementary, you go to your junior high, you go to your high school, and then what do they do in high school? They encourage you to go to college. At least that's what they did at my school, and that's the case for a lot of other people that I've talked to. When you're in high school, they're encouraging you to go to college because you have to do something with your life, right? Is the thought. And not everybody in high school knows exactly what they want to be. Not everybody sees that far yet, which is okay too. But a lot of people are coerced into college, whether it be by parents, whether it be by guidance counselors, teachers, whoever, right? And so then you go to school for 4 to 8 years, you accrue a whole bunch of debt, and then you get yourself out into the real world after that is over with, and then you try to find a good job, okay? And so that's kind of the conveyor belt experience as far as our schooling goes here. Now, that's the rule. And like I said, the title of this video and that cloudy thought I had that one day, you are remembered for the rules that you break. Now let's talk about that. Let's dissect that. Let's think about that. Let's say that's the rule. You go to school, you go to college, you go get you some job, right? What if an individual dared to jump off that conveyor belt? What if an individual dared to break that rule and say, nah, you know what? I want to go a different route. Maybe I want to go to the military. You know what? I want to go a different route. Maybe I want to go into business for myself. Nah, you know what? I want to go a different route. I want to break that rule. I want to jump off this conveyor belt. I see a different vision for my life that's not being advertised to me. See, some things we don't have to ever look for. You see what I'm saying? Some directions, some destinations, the road is already paved for that destination. We don't have to look for it. There's the big old green signs that's like on the interstate telling you how many miles down the road this destination is. Okay? Like you got 4 more years of high school, then there's a sign after that that says 4 more years or 8 more years if you want to get a master's or a doctorate degree, right? There's 4 more years after that, and then there's 35 to 40 years of working at some place, until retirement. That's the destination and that's the rule that's laid out for us. Now, the ones that are remembered are the rule breakers. And I'm talking about it in a good way of rule breaking. I ain't talking about breaking laws and being a nuisance to society. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you got a vision for yourself that was not advertised for you. I'm talking about you got something in your heart that you may not be able to, if you had some clay, you may not be able to quite shape it, right? You may not be able to make it into an object that other people would understand. You may not even be able to convey it in a sentence, okay? You may not even be able to describe it with adjectives, what your heart feels, but you know there's something different inside you. There's a compass. There's a compass inside of you. There's a GPS inside of you that's telling you to jump off that conveyor belt and go the other way, to forge your own path. And yes, this path is not going to be like the path that they got laid out and advertised for you, okay? That path is clear. That path has brand new asphalt on it, okay? That path gets plowed in the wintertime and it gets salt put down so it ain't slippery, okay? That's a foolproof path. But the path that's in your heart, it's all overgrown with brush, okay? You can't quite see it. There's no exact timeline on it. So what does that make for us? That makes us more fearful sometimes because we can't quite see it. We can't even describe it sometimes, right? But something about that path will make you into the person that'll leave a wonderful legacy, okay? Those are the people that's remembered. The people that broke the rule. The people that jumped off that conveyor belt, okay? The rule breakers are the ones that's remembered. So I encourage everybody, if you got something in your heart and you think there's more to life than what you're experiencing, you gotta pursue that. Even if it's a couple minutes a day, thinking about it. Think about it until it manifests into something tangible. Think about it until you develop the courage to explore that burning desire on the inside of your heart. You see what I'm saying? And you got to remain faithful to what's on the inside of your heart, regardless of what anybody around you is thinking. Because most people project their fears, their personal fears, onto other people. Think about it. If you got 5 people lined up on this conveyor belt and person number 4 says that they are about to jump off, them other 4 people that's on that conveyor belt surrounding you, they can never imagine themselves jumping off that conveyor belt. They can never imagine themselves breaking the rule that you dare to break. So they're going to latch on to you and try to keep you on that conveyor belt as long as they possibly can, because they couldn't see themselves doing what you about to do. And what I have to say about that is you need to resist. You need to resist them people that's trying to hold you back from being everything God called you to be. You need to resist yourself from them people, okay? From trying to hold you back from realizing everything that's on the inside of you. Because y'all, we human beings, okay? We are complex creatures. And there's no ceiling on our potential. There's no limitation on what we can do in this lifetime, okay? So the rule breakers are the ones that's remembered, all right? The rule breakers are the ones that forge a better life for everybody else. The rule breakers are the best givers. They have the most to give. You know why? Because they got the most on the line. They got the most to lose. It's a high risk, but a high reward. Okay? And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want to play this life small. This is the only one I'm guaranteed. I don't want to play it small. No. I want to go after, I want it all. I don't want to leave any meat on the bones of this life. Okay? So, you are remembered for the rules you break. Okay? Think about the Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak that developed the Apple company, bruh. Them were some men that did things different. Elon Musk took a different route. He jumped off the conveyor belt. Okay? All these people that have accomplished anything. Jesus Christ, he looked different than the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Okay? He didn't follow that conveyor belt mold. Okay? You be that person because you got it inside of you. You just got to believe in yourself. Okay? So look, I love y'all. I thank y'all for y'all time. Thank y'all for watching this video. It's with love that I come to you. Y'all be blessed.